Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the best beginner steroid cycle. So if you are completely natural right now and you are tempted to join the dark side, then this video is for you. I'm going to be basically going over exactly what your first cycle should be, and this is pretty much universal. So back in the day, people were told to run 500 tests and do all this shit. You don't need that much. I'm going to explain exactly how much you should be taking, roughly, and how to stay safe whilst you're doing this. And also, what do you do after cycle? Do you stay on? Do you PCT? We talk about all that in this video. So without further ado, let's get to it. So best beginner steroid cycle. Let's first talk about my credentials, okay? So I used to be skinny, weak, overlooked, okay? I know what it's like to be a fucking skinny chud, all right? Chad takes it all. He will fuck your bitch and he fucks everyone's bitch. And so what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes to ascend? And obviously PEDs are involved in that process. And I was willing to do whatever it takes to ascend, and I got fucking jacked, okay? I didn't use many steroids, and this is the transformation that I was able to create, okay? So you either stay average or you fucking win, all right? What's it gonna be? And it's not just me. So these are my client transformations, okay? These are the guys that worked with me. Some of them natural, some just used peptides, and others we used obviously some PEDs there. And as you can see, these are some fucking significant transformations that happen in pretty short period of time, less than a year, less than half a year actually. And you know, you're able to make progress that people that would take, you know, a year or 2 years to make. That's the power of PEDs. So steroids work, okay? So steroids work, and you just have to know how to actually leverage them properly. So one, you stay safe, but you also don't fucking waste it. So people, like, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people take gear and they don't even look like they're on gear, and that's because their training and their diet isn't in check. And that's why it's important to have that mentorship when it comes to the bodybuilding side of things, because if I'm being honest, the gear is only like 10-15% of the equation. Like, it will help and it will speed run the process only if your foundations are correct and you actually know what the fuck you're doing, okay? So on that note, when should you actually start steroids? So I believe that there's two situations of when it's ideal, okay? So one is after, let's get the highlighter. Oh, what the fuck? So one is after either 1 to 3 years of consistent training. You actually know how to train. You found the split that works best for you. Obviously, ideally, it would take you like 3 years to learn this stuff. But if you hired a coach, like one of the bodybuilding coaches or myself, then obviously you can speed run that process. You get half a decade of experience in, you know, less than fucking 6 months. And so you skip the guesswork and you basically jump straight to your desired physique without fucking guessing and making mistakes along the way. Because you have that third opinion to basically guide you. As soon as you make that mistake, we can iterate and fucking improve just like that, okay? And if you don't do that, then you're basically gonna guess and check, trial and tribulate yourself, which might take you, you know, 3-4 times the time that it would take if you just had that fucking mentorship. So that brings me to the point two. So you can start steroids even if you've never gymmed before, right? I believe that if your only goal is for lifestyle outcomes, if you hire a coach like myself, I can get you from a skinny fucking chud to relatively built in less than a year, right? 6 months to 12 months. And the reason why this works is because not everyone wants to be a bodybuilder like 24/7. Some guys just want to have the physique, look good on the beach, attract women, and live that lifestyle, and then do the minimal work to maintain that physique afterwards, right? So I understand that that's an application. So all these fucking bodybuilders will be like, oh no, you shouldn't hop on gear, like it's only been a year. Like, dude, if with the right guidance, you can speed run that process. Like, sure, you should do it naturally if you want to, but if you don't want to, then you can also do the gear. There's no right or wrong way. It's just, what do you want? Okay, you want X and you want to do it within 6 to 12 months. That's why people come to me, because I get these fucking results. So what the actual cycle is, it's pretty simple. You're gonna start off with 150 milligrams of TRT. So the reason why we're gonna start here is because you want your body to adjust to the new androgen load, and a TRT dose of 150 milligrams is typically perfect. So this will probably put your total test around 1,000 to 1,500, ideally, plus or minus, because everyone responds differently, dependent on your individual genetics. the way you metabolize testosterone or steroids in general can differ person to person. So the best way to start is to start low. 150 milligrams is fine. What you'll notice in the first 4 to 8 weeks is a lot more drive, a lot more aggression, a lot more confidence. You'll probably be burning fat easier. So you're still making progress. Once you've stabilized on this TRT dose, your body's kind of adjusted to the androgen load, your mind has adjusted, you're actually able to sleep. Some people get sleep issues, like when I first started, I was having sleep issues because I was so just like switched on that it was hard to wind down and sleep basically. And so by week 6 to week 8, you pretty much have adjusted. And then what we do is we titrate up to 250 milligrams. So this is now like cycle territory where you're gonna have super physiological levels of androgens that are gonna help you build muscle like fucking crazy, right? And then if you want to, so this is pretty much where you can end it if you want to, at 250 mgs. But the range is 250 up to 300 to 350, right? So it just depends on how much you're willing to push the envelope and also how you personally respond estrogen and DHT wise. So if you overdo it, you might get gyno, you might have too much estrogen, or you might start noticing a lot more hair shed because your DHT conversion is super high. So it really just depends on the dose that works for you. And that's why I suggest you start low and titrate up every 4 weeks and then assess your blood work, assess how you subjectively feel, to be able to make a data-driven decision to whether you should increase the dose, keep the same dose, or even sometimes lower the dose back to something that you can tolerate. And then once you found your dose, you're gonna hold this for a minimum of 16 to 24 weeks. You have to understand that muscle growth is rate limited. You can only grow so much muscle at a certain period of time. And so the best way to grow is to have a longer time horizon. So 16 to 24 weeks is a great starting point. You can even push that further. There's no rules of how long you should be on cycle for. It's really just how long can you stay on whilst keeping your health markers in check. If you're able to stay healthy, you can cruise on this year round. Like plenty of bodybuilders will cruise on 350 year round. That's some people's cruise doses. So obviously there's trade-offs with like, you know, aging, hair loss, stuff like that. And so those are all variables that having a coach helps you navigate. So yeah, and then after the cycle, I suggest you go to TRT. If you actually want to live the life, there is no point in putting your body through the stress of hopping on, hopping off, restarting your natural production. Like you're gonna be on TRT when you're 30 anyways. So you might as well start earlier and stay on this shit because TRT is the source of life. It's gonna keep you locked in. It's gonna keep your levels stable. It's gonna help your business performance, your fucking relationships, your mentality, your mood, everything. Test is the fucking best, okay? I would only suggest the PCT if you truly just didn't like the steroids and you don't really care about your physique and you know you just wanted that quick ride, then you can PCT. Or if you're gonna hop off steroids for a long period of time, say 6 months up to a year, then sure, you can PCT as well. But typically I'll do everything in my power to essentially stay on TRT, okay? And last but not least, let's talk about actually how to stay healthy on cycle. It's pretty simple, like people overcomplicate it, but pretty much you need to make sure you obviously get your blood work done so we can actually see what biomarkers need fucking assistance. But typically there's 3 main like levers that we can pull. One is regular cardio. This is gonna help control your hematocrit and your blood pressure. So you wanna do regular zone 2 cardio. This is like fast-paced walking or on the bike or the elliptical where you can breathe through your nose comfortably and you can have a conversation, but like it shouldn't be super easy conversation. You know, you're just being able to speak. Proper hydration, so water plus electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you get that in your diet, as well as just like basic health. Like you should be eating good amounts of mixed vegetables and mixed fruits. Like this is obvious. Like most of the health parameters that we control whilst on cycle is the same as if you were natural. It just means you have to be extra dialed in with your diet and your training and stuff like that. And obviously you need your basic supplements. So the supplements for each sort of organ that can be damaged, so your heart, your liver, your kidneys, manage all of that. Also your lipids, so this is your cholesterol or triglycerides, HDL, LDL, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. These are important because you don't want to clog your arteries and die from a heart attack at fucking age 45. So the supplement stack that most people use, pretty much they'll always include these things here. Obviously, there's plenty of others like vitamin C, multivitamins, but these are the main ones that you need to look at. And everything else, like, you should just be supplementing anyways when you are natural. So fish oil, this is the fucking king of steroid ancillaries. It's going to help you. Well, you have to use higher doses than normal. So because you're on steroids now, you should be using higher dosages than what natties would use. And it's going to help manage your inflammation, your brain health, control your triglycerides/lipids. So this is really amazing. Next is CoQ10. This is a really powerful antioxidant for your heart and also mitochondrial function. So CoQ10 is amazing. It's going to reduce oxidative stress, which, you know, steroids is going to increase. So we want to combat that. Next is NAC. So this is a precursor to glutathione, which is a super powerful antioxidant. So it's going to help reduce that oxidative stress we talked about before. You can also do injectable glutathione, so you can directly just access it, and you can get this from like underground. I'm not going to help with the sourcing of that, and I need to do that for my clients. But if you can get your hands on injectable glutathione, that's also amazing. Next, you don't really have to worry about this, but if you're going to take orals like Anavar and Winstrol later down the line, then obviously Tudka is important for your liver health. And last but not least, magnesium glycinate. This one's just fucking amazing. It's going to help with your sleep, muscle relaxation, and just recovery. And you need good sleep in order to restore your neurosteroids, so your DHEA and your pregnenolone, shit like that. These are like stuff that regulate your mood and just overall brain health and cognition. So you don't want to skip out on that. But apart from that, that's pretty much it for this video. Happy pinning. Pinning is winning. And I hope you guys have a safe first cycle and this video was valuable. If it was, please leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions, and yeah, peace out.